Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and more Birthright here as we work our way through the Kanasi realms, taking a look at Binsada today. Now if you want to see videos like this early, head us up on our Patreon there, guys. All the support really matters, helps us track down all kinds of old modules and everything for settings like Birthright, and lets us bring that continued content to you, and helps keep the channel going as well. But let's jump in with Binsada, and generally also you get to see videos like this about a week early, among some other exclusives too. Anyway, moving on here. Binsada, so it's chaotic good. It's also recommended. It's a fairly large realm. You have well over half a dozen provinces there, mostly on the smaller side, but we do have a couple of 3s and then one level 4 province. The law is pretty straightforward, and then temple activity is a little bit of back and forth there. Same thing with the guilds, and then all these sources are under one control. So jumping in here, it is the westernmost of the Kanasi realms, ruled by the popular Queen Banira el-Rashid. She controls only minimal law holdings, as Binsadans have no use for strong government and rely on clan elders to provide discipline and guidance. So, as you can see, she has a fair bit, but it's not overly heavy-handed. The reach of the High Priestess, Shandar of Zakala, extends into eastern Binsada, but the Queen has declared the Temple of Leira the state religion. Leira's church is led by the fiery old priest Haswan Mandil, level 4 priest of Vorin derivation. Only a 9 there, but also chaotic good. The guild situation, again, Zakala still interferes here. They reach into Binsada. The extraordinary traders of Turin wields great influence in the eastern plains. The Hydra's agents control Binsada's western lowlands, while Delia of Cornes, interesting there, level 4 fighter, level 4 thief, opposes Zakala's interests with her Seire consortium. So interesting to see that there, given the distance, but moving on. Sources, the powerful sorceress Corazon bint Rilni, level 9 wizard, neutral, bloodline there as well. Also known as the Red Witch, controls the magic of the western plains. Sometimes she lingers at the Queen's court, but mostly she wanders the land. She's currently feuding with the agents of the Hydra, but that could be a fun person to recruit to your side, or have her give you certain quests and things, maybe to help deal with the Hydra. Regency, you got a fair bit there, 22 generated over 55 accumulated. Treasury is fairly small, only 11 gold bars, but she does raise 23 per turn, so a little bit of work and consolidation there will help fix that a little bit too. Now, it does have a decent sized army, actually, which is, I think, where a lot of the spending is going right now. So 6 units of medium and 6 units of light cavalry, so really just massive, so 12 already. Another medium unit of cavalry, the Lions of Dusk, so her elite unit, serves as the Queen's personal fighting force, and a unit of infantry garrisons the capital of Bear Dairas. But, again, largely a cavalry force, but could be expanded a little bit with just a little bit more infantry, just to balance things out as well, a little bit cheaper, but also a little bit more flexibility in fighting. But again, a little bit of raising up of some of the province levels, getting a little bit more income as well will help fund that. Nothing mentioned of a navy here, though. Now, the regent, Banira bint Hamila el-Rashid, level 4 fighter, chaotic goods, decent bloodline there too, is the 8th Rashid queen to rule in succession. This tall, athletic woman in her early 30s has striking good looks, a vigorous, involved ruler. She never rests until she's resolved a matter to her satisfaction. She can act short-tempered or mercurial, but her heart is in the right place and her people love her greatly. So at least you don't have any internal strife so much. She doesn't spend much time in the capital, but moves her court frequently. Most Binsadans live in nomadic settlements, following their herds, and she believes the Queen should share her people's lifestyle. So, very much connected to the people, so that's always good. Lieutenants, she doesn't often rely on her underlings to do her work for her, but she is learning that the most effective rulers delegate authority. So she entrusts mercantile and diplomatic missions to her younger sister, the Lady Medina el-Rashid, level 3 thief. Also a little bit of bloodline there, also neutral good. Medina loves her sister more than life itself, and she'd never betray her. Leading Binsada's army is an old Anawiran expatriate named Garrod Vorduin, level 5 fighter, very minimal bloodline, chaotic neutral. A fearsome mercenary captain of exceptional skill and intelligence. Vorduin, a Stormbringer, has drifted from state to state, leaving war in his wake. No one knows what hold the queen has on him, but he appears to serve her without any reservations. So, potentially some romantic involvement there, but who knows? But that could be some sort of rumor that maybe is there. Other NPCs, many agents and brigands loyal to the Hydra have infiltrated the state's western provinces, so that is one external problem, a very serious one. Although most Binsadans want nothing to do with this Anshe, a few western clans have fallen under the abomination's sway. The Hydra's captain is, or in western Binsada, an oily Brecht rogue named Court Brigadin, level 8 thief, pretty high, chaotic evil, has gained control of much of the trade on the Asarwe River and now directs his efforts on Bayer Daras. So it's definitely a problem that needs to be dealt with. Another major character is the Prince Daoud ibn Mustaf el-Rashid, level 6 ranger, chaotic good, the Queen's cousin. Due to his efforts guarding the eastern border against the Sphinx's minions, Binsada has had little trouble with this Anshe in recent years. However, the opinionated Daoud vocally criticizes some of his cousin's rulings. So at least he's still good aligned, so that's, more just squabbling as opposed to like plotting against you. So that's still more or less fine. But that is one of the tricky parts with Binsada. You're kind of sandwiched between two Anshe, plus you got Zakala to deal with as well. Now, this Sphinx is certainly a problem, but the way that they describe the Hydra here, so if we remember back to the video on the Hydra, right, it's not intelligent in the sense of really being able to command anything. So these are just people that are kind of coming out from that lawless region that is the Hydra's domain and sort of acting as if it were kind of controlling them. So that being said, again, the Hydra itself is non-intelligible, and really it's just these lawless people that have kind of coalesced in its domain, not really like interacting with it in that sense or on its behalf, but just more so kind of known as these agents of the Hydra. So the description of the land has plains more fertile than the arid lands of Zakala and the Sphinx to the east. This land proves excellent for raising cattle and horses. In fact, the Binsadans are nomadic herders. Other Kanasi consider them rustic barbarians because they live in tents and camps instead of towns. Each clan's famed range riders scout ahead for fertile grazing areas for the herds. They also hunt and spy for their Geiru and prove formidable in a skirmish. The exception to the nomadic lifestyle is, of course, the capital, the Fortress of the East Wind, as it's known. Early Binsadan rulers intended this mighty dwarf-built structure to house the citizens in times of great peril. Great courts within its walls stand empty, ready to shelter thousands of people and their herds should it be necessary. So kind of a good place to be able to fall back on in case of invasion. Trade goods, livestock, and more livestock. So locals trade leather, meat, cheese, horn, and other such products as their principal source of income. There's huge cattle markets that attract visitors from basically all over. The small town of Andujar on the Moor River and to locations along the banks of the Asarwe among the capital as well. Now, it imports finished products like woods, textiles, tools, and weapons. Just doesn't have a big industry of its own for that. But that could be something, too, where if it's able at some point to maybe ally with some of the other Kanasi domains and maybe deal with one or more of these Anshe, or at least gain some territory from them that might allow them access into other industries as well. Allies. Sindur has always been a staunch ally, and Binsada and Aria remain on good terms as well. Surprisingly, the Harpy has actually been a decent neighbor. Can't forget about that. For the Binsadans, this Anshe resides on a chain of islands just to the south. Rumors tell of a secret pact between the Anshe and the House of Rashid, but most Binsadans believe the Harpy has forged a treaty with Zakala instead. But who can say for sure? But for now, at least not a big problem. Your main problems are the Hydra and the Sphinx have created trouble for Binsada in the past, and both have dire plans for the realm. Should the Queen ever weaken? Binsada also faces a growing rivalry with Sakala, another direct threat. The eastern state has raised the tolls on traffic along the Mora River. So again, that's something where with your pretty sizable army, maybe with a little bit of work from your allies, that can be rectified too. Now, the one thing that is confusing again here, they kind of again indicate that like the Hydra is actively like an intelligible force working against you. Stands in contrast a little bit to the actual entry for the Hydra in the Blood Enemies book, right? The Hydra is really just an unintelligible monster that kind of inhabits the swamp, kind of keeps growing these offspring that it has and everything, but it really isn't. As the description goes, it's not like looking to acquire more territory or has any like real plan. Now, the Sphinx, on the other hand, would be as it's described here, and we'll get to that fairly soon as well. But the Hydra itself is really just kind of unto itself, so it's not really looking to increase its territory or like actually invade itself. Again, it's just at this point like a creature. So my guess would be when they were writing this, and I'm wondering which one came first. My guess would be this was probably published a little bit before Blood Enemies. They maybe hadn't quite thought that through yet or fleshed that out perfectly. But again, it could be also other people posing as again like agents of the Hydra. So maybe some of these like weird offspring and stuff like that, or just in other words like using the name and maybe even operating out of the swampy area that the Hydra resides in, and as a threat. So a lot of these like outlaws and thieves and stuff like that. But that would be like a little bit of a correction here. So like unless something were forcing it to get out of its lair in its swampy area, the Hydra isn't really actually invading. It'd be more so those aforementioned other dwellers of its realm or in its realm. So that being said, Binsada is another one of the fun ones to try, guys. Pretty easy going as far as running it. You got some things to consolidate and improve upon, certainly, but you don't have like really any internal enemies. Your family's by and large on your side, right? It's just a lot of these external factors to deal with. You kind of got an enchant to the east and the west. You got a enemy political realm, then also an enchant to the south, although nominally not really a threat as of yet. So plenty of room for opportunity to either adventure in here. A lot of great opportunities just in how you can approach that and really being of service to the realm. Certainly, I think launching some raids and attacks against the Hydra and the Sphinx and so on and so forth would prove useful, but also ruling a realm, you've got plenty of opportunity to expand there and have a glorious campaign as well. Let us know, guys, if you've played Binsada. Hit us up in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.